This video has been brought to you by Computer Solutions R Us. Phil and his team hooked me up with a great computer, and I know they can do the same for you. Whether you need a computer repair, brand new computer, whatever you need, all your answers are over there. Go check out the link in the description box below and tell them Drew at Artistic Gamer sent you. What's up everybody, it's Drew with Artistic Gamer 28, and today we're flying high, we're hitting the oceans, and we're doing some racing on the ground. Today, we're talking about the Crew 2.
Jesus, you're walking on water here.
Okay, so a big shout out and thanks to Ubisoft for sending me a copy of the Crew 2 for review. I played it on the PlayStation 4. You can also play on the Xbox One or PC. Basically, the Crew 2 is all about gathering a following to unlock the next race, give you another set of cars, another bike, another plane, another boat, whatever it may be to achieve the races. And how you do that is by gaining followers. The better you place in a race, the better the follower count's going to be, the better stunts you pull off, and so on and so forth. The overall concept of the game is pretty simple. Why they called it the Crew 2, I do not understand in the slightest. It kind of bugs me, to be honest. If they would have called it something else, anything but the Crew, it doesn't make any sense. The Crew 1, initially, you played as Alex, the whole story, there's the protagonist, he was the main guy, the main focus of this major campaign where you were set up in the very beginning for Framed for Murder, and you were out to gather more races and intel to find out who killed that main person. If you haven't played this game, I don't want to spoil it for you. But the Crew 1 versus the Crew 2 are two completely separate, different games. Like, it doesn't make any sense to call this the Crew 2. This is an open world race car arcade game. Whether you're racing on land, in the plane, or on sea, that's all it is. The campaign itself is pretty basic. Each of these factions or these families, whether you're on a street race or you're in the plane, they're separate identities. But each one of them, like for instance, in racing on a boat, you have this top dog you're trying to replace. So the more you climb the ladder, and the better races, and the more you finish first, you're gonna kick him out, kind of thing is the idea. So there's always someone to kind of reach for, but it has nothing to do with the original Crew. The Crew 1 was based on revenge from a murder. The Crew 2 is all about gaining followers to get to the next race. Why they did that, I haven't got the slightest idea, but the Crew 2, regardless, is all about going to the next checkpoint and the next checkpoint and the next checkpoint to unlock more followers, to get more vehicles, to get more races. There's a ton of races to unlock. And when you win a race, it's funny, they added this RPG kind of grind loot reward system. So when you win, it drops new gear for that vehicle. It could be a green or it could be a blue, and it helps you upgrade that particular vehicle. Kind of a neat idea, something we're seeing in a lot of, obviously, the loot grinding games we're playing right now. So to add that into a race type experience, I kind of actually appreciate it. It gives me a purpose once I actually complete the race to go back and mess with my cars. You can always go and fine tune vehicles within like the Forza series or something along that line, but you've never kind of been able to upgrade it as far as like a loot grinding system in a sense. So I thought that was kind of cool. Again, the open world is just phenomenal. How big and beautiful they have made the United States. It is a feat in itself that Ubisoft has been able to achieve this. And it's instantaneous too, from you zooming out from where your vehicle is to this huge open world map. And then you can zoom right back in and go right back into the action. It is phenomenal, but it's just one checkpoint after another. So to me, it became very repetitive very quickly. So that was a bit kind of unsatisfying to know that my only purpose is to go from one checkpoint to the next, and there's no real campaign. There is there to achieve, and you want to beat out the top dog for that car, whether it's for the race cars or it's for the planes or the boats, and you're racing either way, but it's all the same. It just became too much of the same thing over and over and over again. The more vehicles you unlock, other options is cool. I got to finally go to the motor supercross, and that is my genre. I love to do supercross bikes, motocross bikes, whatever it is. That's where I was going, and I aimed for that first. Boy, was I disappointed on those controls. The controls for the bikes are awful, just plain awful. There's no getting around it. It does not feel like I'm playing a milestone game. You're playing the latest Monster Energy Supercross game. That is phenomenal. Those bikes handle perfectly. To get into the Crew 2, when I'm off of my motocross bike, I'm either rigid or I'm floating through the air. And the minute I float, I drift and I drag. It's just not the way I feel the bike should handle. That was pretty disappointing. The street races are fun. The boat races I enjoyed. The stunts for the plane are cool. But to do it again and again and again, I just keep going back to the same repetition of the last thing. And that's probably the Crew 2's biggest downfall, is the repetition of the events of just going out to do the same thing over and over again. Now you can build up your followers, which will unlock the next set of races. So there's always something to achieve, but for me, it just wasn't enough. Unfortunately, the Crew 2, from me, is getting a 6.5. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe for more content, or you can always follow me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video.